It's not, this allegation of groomer and pedophile. It is alleging that a person is criminal somehow and engaged in criminal acts merely because of their identity.
The woke ideology that Secretary Austin has advanced has harmed our military. This culture war that we see with radical race ideology and radical gender ideology is intermingled, and it permeates all aspects of the Department of Defense and has even bled into the VA.
This is not something to poke fun at. Many of you know I have a trans sibling and a gender non-conforming sibling, and I can tell you the conversations we have in this body, the things that young people hear us say about their identities, it has real consequences on their mental health. And I think we all need to be mindful of that as we're having this conversation.
We are not the predators. We are the ones saving the lives of those preyed on through hate and violence. LGBTQ people are humans who have families, who love, and tragically who bleed. Before you post on social media, think about the youth who read your words. Words can harm, but words can spread compassion. Words can condemn those who speak and act out of hate. Even if you don't understand, we need you to stand for us. LGBTQ youth deserve a safe nation. Scared. Since the shooting at Club Q, that word keeps coming up for me. Youth are asking us to be more incognito, less obviously LGBTQ. They're scared they'll be the next target.
There are so many children out there right now that have two daddies or two mamas. That's their house. That's their home. That's their love. That's what they have. They should not be shunned or made to feel insignificant or unimportant or different than the rest of the kids, because they already know something's a little different. Their family picture doesn't look like maybe most of the other family pictures, but they come from a loving home, and they should be able to be part of a conversation or a discussion in their classroom just like anybody else.
I have so enjoyed working with you on so many issues in this building, and you know how I feel about this.
And you probably know how I feel about
just hold on a minute. Just hold on a minute.
Yeah.
This is the only issue that I take personally that we discuss. This is it. And I've made it clear that we can agree to disagree and still love each other and still move forward unless, and I'm not the first person to say this came from James Baldwin, unless the root of our disagreement is in my right to exist. And that's what you're doing with this legislation. We can't move past that. We cannot agree to disagree on that.
As members of Congress, it is our duty to protect the safety and well-being of everyone who calls our country home. And fulfilling that duty starts with understanding the people that we represent, especially and including members of the LGBTQI+ community. High quality information will help us provide resources to programs that serve LGBTQI+ individuals, pass laws defending threatened rights, and push the administration to make policies that protect rather than endanger vulnerable communities.
I just want to say how disappointed I am that we're having this conversation instead of dealing with actual national security needs in this body. And I appreciate your poster, Mr. Gates, but I just think that it's important we recognize that this is not just some academic conversation about wokeness, and this is not something to poke fun at. These are people who want to serve in our military, and let's be clear, their sexual and gender identity has nothing to do with their ability to complete that mission. So I hope that all of us here will be voting to report this resolution unfavorably, because this has real world consequences for people across the country, and I would hate to see more young people who feel like their government doesn't believe they have a right to exist. I yield back.
Daily, our staff sit with youth experiencing suicidal thoughts who are impacted by these types of harmful and inaccurate messages. It is not the fact these youth are LGBTQ that puts them at risk. It's the way our culture views them. Their mental health is impacted when politicians legislate away their rights, when they witness unmitigated hate speech on social media. This is not normal. This is not okay. These are kids. And this is why, in addition to direct service, Inside Out advocates alongside youth for inclusive policies. Having one safe space is not enough.
The concept of teaching just a heterosexual marriage, it's archaic, It's puritanical. It's in many ways religiously based. We're supposed to have a separation of church and state when it comes to things of this nature. It's why so many of us were so opposed on the abortion bill. We can understand the different viewpoints, but that's why the first thing written in the Bill of Rights is a separation of church and state.
I was afraid of people like you growing up, and I grew up in Hickory County, Missouri. I grew up in a school district that would vote tomorrow to put this in place. And for 18 years, I walked around with nice people like you who took me to ball games, who told me how smart I was, and who went to the ballot and voted for crap like this. And I couldn't wait to get out. I couldn't wait to move to a part of our state that would reject this stuff in a minute. I couldn't wait. And thank God I made it. Thank God I made it out. And I think every day of the kids who are still there, who haven't made it out, who haven't escaped from this kind of bigotry.
But I just want to say I'm proud to say gay. I'm proud to stand with the gay community, and I'm proud that you're all here today as part of our country and giving us testimony. I yield back, Madam Chair.